You're on Dealey Plaza in Dallas, Texas, right outside the School Book Depository where Oswald supposedly fired a shot to kill President Kennedy that day.
What brings you to Dallas, Texas?
Garbage. We're here to look at the trash.
Okay.
We have an annual waste expo where all the equipment manufacturers and stuff get together and show their stuff to the people that run landfills and hauling companies.
Did Oswald fire those shots that killed JFK?
This is actually the Algin photo right here, where it shows you Oswald's position is right here on these School Book Depository steps as the motorcade goes by. Not only that, at 12:15 that day, his co-worker, Miss Arnold, said that he was on the second floor in the break room drinking a Coke and on the payphone. So he would have had to have ran up 5 flights of stairs. Not only that, he would have had to have passed Officer Roberts, who was on the 5th floor that day, to get to the 6th floor. That's why I say this photo right here is so unique, because it is the photo that was taken at 12:31 when the motorcade's going by. You can see Oswald is not in that window. But if you look right down here, you can see where he was standing on the School Book Depository steps. He never fired a shot. The only print they had of Oswald's on that rifle he supposedly fired that day was a 26-hour post-mortem half-moon palm print on the butt.
And how do you get rid of the trash? I mean, it must build up.
Well, we have a
lot of room.
Yeah, we dig big holes and line it with rubber, and then we bury it, and then it causes methane gas, and we have wells in there, and we sell the gas to the Detroit Edison.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they make electricity out of the gas from the garbage.
So that's
methane,
actually a form of recycling in a way, isn't it?
Right.
Making a product out of trash.
We make a lot of it too.
Yeah, is that right?
We do make enough electricity to power 10,000 residences.
Why was JFK shot?
Well, the reason he was shot is because before he'd gone on the motorcade route, he'd already put in an addendum into Congress where he was going to end the Vietnam War. He was going to bring all our troops home. But the government had started all the way back, even when Eisenhower was president, at beefing up the production of like Bell Helicopter out here in Hearst, McDonnell Douglas Air Corporation, which is LTV in Grand Prairie, Dow Chemical Company, mass production of weapons and chemical warfare. And they needed, the Korean conflict didn't last long enough for them to get everything underway, so they had to have the Vietnam conflict to make $220 billion. Cost us 59,000 lives, and 10 years later we come home, didn't accomplish anything. But at the same time, you did not receive a contract from the United States government as a defense contractor unless you were one thing, and that would be a union shop, which means union dues, pensions, slush funds, organized crime. So there was your tie right there.
Can you remember that day?
Yeah.
Where were you?
I was at work. I was at work in a steel mill at the time. And it just came like a big flood. The president was shot and killed on November 22nd.
How did everyone react, Elmer, that you were working with? What was the sort of feeling on the day?
It was a terrible feeling. I mean, a lot of people just in there, my stomach kind of curdled, you know. I had that funny feeling inside of me that he was one of our great presidents of the United States. And
You guys meet
it was sad. It was sad to see something like that happen, you know. And then, you know, right after him, they got his brother too, Bobby.
Well, in the mid-1970s, there was actually a call to have this building torn down because of the horrible memories that were associated with it. And so Dallas County actually bought the building and restored it. And then in 1989, the Dallas County Historical Foundation came in and created the 6th floor exhibit. They actually thought it was going to be fairly temporary and that people would come and then they would get tired of it and then they would shut it down. But that didn't actually happen. We had about 10,000 visitors our first year, and we're now up to about 500,000 visitors a year. He was actually one of our first television presidents, so people, you know, either saw him in person or they saw him on TV all the time. He's so charismatic, and Jackie was so beautiful, and Caroline was so cute, and, you know, and JFK Jr. was just, you know, precious, and everybody just, you know, fell in love with that whole image and that whole family. And that, you know, on November 22nd, I think people feel like everything changed, like everything kind of went dark after that.
Does the museum actually hold an opinion about the assassination?
No, the museum tries to stay really neutral about who did what. I mean, we don't, we always say the word allegedly in comparison to Oswald. He was never convicted. This is the only place where you can actually, I guess, come and look and see, look out the window or be in the knoll or look at the plaza and kind of get a sense of what everything looked like in 1963, because the building and the area around it have not changed very much.
So Johnny, why do you have this great interest in researching JFK's assassination?
Well, we don't only do JFK. I work with COPA, which is a Coalition on Political Assassinations, which they do political assassinations all over the world. We also work on Bobby Kennedy, Martin Luther King. Last 2 years we've been working on some information on JFK Jr. About his mishap, investigating it. And we're uncovering some pretty interesting things.
What, that wasn't an accident?
Well, we're still working on it. We're putting the information together to see what we come up with on it.
I mean, would there have been any reason to get rid of JFK Jr.?
Well, to be honest with you, he was positioning himself and getting ready to run for a senator. And if he would have served one term as a senator, he could have walked right in and put in his bid for presidential candidate. And if he would have became president, same way with Bobby in '68 when he was assassinated. If he had became president, anytime any president in the United States has ever been in office, he could go to the records and the information that's been sealed up on JFK and release those files to the public.
Do you believe the story that Oswald did it from up here at the book depository?
Because he not only shot the president, he shot a police officer, he killed him as they were running him down, and then he tried to shoot another one when they caught him in the show. So, yeah, I believe he did it. I believe there was some more help with it, but we'll never know, I guess, unless something pops up. But it wasn't a one-man show.
Can I just ask you where you're from and what brings you to the site?
We're from the UK. We're here on business, and just the sheer interest of being here and seeing where the president was shot.
And I just saw you were talking about the sort of location. And do you have any sort of thoughts yourselves about, Oswald or about the grassy knoll? And what do you think?
I think logic says it probably came from the window.
Really?
Yeah, but hey, it's all open for debate, isn't it?
You're not into the conspiracy theory?
Well, there's plenty of them around here peddling that one, so you can choose, whichever
We were
one.
just saying, if there was someone standing here with a rifle, and the day the president was arriving, you think there'd be other people around who'd have noticed this guy standing behind the picket fence with a rifle. It would seem that the conspiracy theories missed that trick where there would have been other people around. I'd have thought, to my mind.
Do you think the site looks different from how you've seen it depicted in film and on television?
It looks a lot smaller.
Looks smaller. Yeah, much smaller.
Yeah.
So you're sticking to this stage, the Lee Harvey Oswald?
We'll keep an open mind, but on balance, he's got it at the moment.
What do you think of Dallas? You've had a couple of days here, and have you enjoyed yourselves?
Yeah, it's one of the best eating cities I've ever been in.
What have you been eating, Bob? Too much?
No, well, yeah, delicious food everywhere we've been.
Yeah, what sort of food have you been eating?
Barbecue, prime rib, even breakfast was good. Greek omelet.
Rib steak and seafood. Rib steak and seafood. Coming here, we just had the opportunity before we're going home today. We had the opportunity to come over here and go through the museum and see what was all the pictures. Had me a few little souvenirs made up. There's his picture on it.
Did you get that at the museum?
Yeah, you can put a penny in a machine, 50 cents, and you crank it, and it comes out like that. And that's a picture of John F. Kennedy. So it's a souvenir for me to take home. I got 5 of them for my grandkids.